Transport, Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. Elected His Excellency Muhammad Islami, Minister of Roads and Urban Development, Islamic Republic of Iran. Excellency Ms. Christine Galician, Deputy Minister of Territorial Administration and Infrastructure, Republic of Armenia. Respected His Excellency Mr. Ruslan Baimish, Vice Minister of Industry and Infrastructure Development, Republic of Tajikistan. Respected Mr. Chariev Jasurbek Agashvich, Deputy Minister of Transport, Republic of Uzbekistan. Participants, the ambassadors, participants from the embassies all over these countries. Respected Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India, and delegates. Today is the Chabahar Day, which we commemorate for integration of different countries in this region. I request now Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India, to deliver the welcome address, please.
Excellencies, respected delegates, and distinguished participants, it gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you for the opening session on Chabahar as part of the Maritime India Summit 2021. I welcome Honorable Minister Sri Mansukh Mandviya ji, our Minister for Port, Shipping and Waterways. I would also like to welcome the Honorable Ministers and dignitaries from Afghanistan, Iran, Armenia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Russia, and the other participating countries. The presence of the Honorable Ministers of different countries in today's session will give further momentum to the development of the opportunities that has now been developed at Chabahar. The Maritime India Summit 2021 was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister on the 2nd of March, and the Maritime India Vision 2030 was also released. The Maritime India Vision 2030 emphasizes on boosting productivity, on improving performance, on improving connectivity, and on reducing logistic costs by adopting cost-effective processes. The operationalization of Chabahar Port helped bring down the logistic costs of moving goods to Afghanistan and enable Afghanistan to boost trade. The operationalization of Chabahar Port will help bring down the logistic costs for Afghanistan and the other countries in the region. It will enable Afghanistan to boost its trade, not only with India, but also with other countries, and greatly promote regional cooperation. The purpose of this event is to update all these stakeholders on the new opportunities which have now opened up with the development of infrastructure and the operationalization of the Sahid Beheshti at Chabahar, and the business opportunities that are now available. And we expect the stakeholders to take the full benefit of the new opportunities that are now available. The Sahid Beheshti Port at Chabahar was operationalized on 25th December 2018 and has started handling of export cargo to Afghanistan. This opens the gate to golden opportunities to improve regional connectivity, reduce cost, and boost trade and business in the region. Chabahar Port Chabahar Port brings a win-win situation for all the nations. It would significantly enhance Afghanistan's overall connectivity to the regional and the global markets. Both India and Iran have granted discount on vessels as well as cargo-related charges for the benefit of all the holders. Delivery of 2 mobile cranes at Chabahar Port has already been completed, and 4 more cranes are expected to reach in the next few months. The objective of this session on Chabahar is to showcase the benefits of Chabahar Port with improved regional connectivity and the trade opportunities that have now opened up for the countries in the region. I am sure all stakeholders will avail of the new opportunities and make the best of the sessions that we have lined up for the day. I thank all the participants for joining in the session and once again warmly welcome you. I am sure the deliberations today will help in tapping the full benefits of the opportunities for the benefit of trade and the people in the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjeev Ranjan, Secretary, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, Republic of India. Now, in order to make this forum aware of the investment in Chabahar and the facilities available, a short film on Chabahar Port will be shown.
India Ports Global Chabahar Free Zone IPG CFZ registered in Iran is a wholly owned subsidiary of India Ports Global Limited IPGL Mumbai under the ambit of the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India to operate Shahid Beheshti Port of Chabahar. The Chabahar port is located on Makran coast in Sistan in Baluchistan province of Iran outside the Hormuz Strait with direct access to the Indian Ocean. The port has immense potential for catering to EXIM and transit cargo traffic, hence can be developed into transit hub. Indian Ocean carries 1/2 of the world's container shipments, 1/3 of the bulk cargo traffic and 2/3 of the oil shipments, wherein Chabahar can play a major role due to its strategic location to capture a significant share of the traffic. Chabahar is in close proximity in west coast of India as its distance from Mumbai and Kandla is 786 nautical mile and 550 nautical miles respectively. Chabahar is also located at close proximity of about 1,836 kilometers to Kabul, Afghanistan. An agreement on establishment of an international transport and transit corridor amongst the Government of Republic of India, the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan and the Islamic Republic of Iran was signed on the 23rd of May 2016. Concurrent with the trilateral transit and transportation agreement via Chabahar, the bilateral agreement between the Islamic Republic of Iran and Republic of India was also signed on 23rd of May 2016 for equipping and operations at Shahid Beheshti Port of Chabahar, Development Phase 1. Shahid Beheshti Port Phase 1 development plan contains a multi-purpose terminal with 600-meter berth length and a container terminal with 640-meter berth length, along with 70 hectares backup area to be equipped RMQC, 14 RTGC, plus 6 mobile harbour cranes and yard cranes and other equipment such as reacher stacker, empty container handlers, forklifts and trailer etc. Presently, port had adequate equipment to handle current traffic. Annual loading and unloading capacity of Chabahar today stands at 8.5 million tons, which will enhance to 15 million tons on completion of Phase 1. IPGL terminal at Shahid Beheshti Port of Chabahar will have a direct access to the rail connections as a rail terminal is planned in the vicinity of the IPGL terminal. IPGL commenced the commercial operation at Shahid Beheshti Port of Chabahar in December 2018. During COVID pandemic, Chabahar has continued to import basic goods and during these times, 13 ships carrying these goods for Afghanistan have been unloaded, including 10 ships carrying wheat aid cargo. Brief advantages of Shahid Beheshti Port can be summarized as below. Proximity to the west coast of India out of Hormuz Strait. Economical distance of Afghanistan and CIS countries. Port of International North-South Trade Corridor. Immense potential for transit cargo. Port backed by free trade zone, all-weather port, deep draft of 16 meters, VRC and CRC discount by Government of India and the Government of Iran. It's our vision to make Chabahar port a transit hub under INSTC to reach out to CIS countries. As per the commitment of Government of India to equip Shahid Beheshti Port, Chabahar, Iran, 2 mobile harbour cranes arrived in mid of January 2021.
I now request His Excellency Mr. Himmatullah Zaki, Minister of Transport, Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, to deliver his address, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. السلام علیکم تمام دوستهایی که در این اودیو کال وصل هستند. اجازه دهید نخست از همه از برگزاری موفقانه این برنامه از جانب دولت هند ابراز امتنان نمایم. دولت هند و دولت افغانستان روابط دیپلماتیک، اقتصادی و فرهنگی نیک و دیرینه داشته و اکنون اقتضا میکند تا مشارکت این دو ملت با ویژه در بخش دریایی بیشتر از هر وقت دیگر تقویت و گسترش یابد. مردم و دولت هند دوست دیرینه و صادق مردم افغانستان بوده. در سالهای متمادی کمک‌های زیادی به مردم افغانستان نمودند که از آن جمله میتوان از اعمار ساختمان پارلمان افغانستان، ساخت بند برق سالما در هرات، اعمار کتابخانه تسلیمی 400 اراده بس تاتا، اکمال پروژه‌جات بس‌ها، وعده کمک 1000 اراده بس، اعمار مکاتب، جاده ها، اعطای بورسیه های تحصیلی و غیره. من به نمایندگی مردم افغانستان از مردم و دولت هند ابراز قدردانی می نمایم. دولت جمهوری اسلامی افغانستان از چند سال بدین سو در جستجوی راه‌های جدید ترانسپورتی و ترانزیتی بوده و روی گزینه‌های مختلف کار نموده است. در دیپلماسی ترانسپورتی و ترانزیتی افغانستان به حیث یک کشور محاط به خشکی نیاز مبرم با راه‌های جدید ترانسپورتی و ترانزیتی دارد. ایجاد راه‌ها و کریدورهایی که افغانستان را با آبهای بین المللی وصل می سازد از اهمیت خاصی برخوردار است. بندر چابهار از جمله مسیرهای ترانسپورتی جدیدی دارای اهمیت ویژه برای افغانستان بوده که رایابی افغانستان را با دریاهای، آبهای بین المللی و بازارهای اروپایی امکان پذیر ساخته است. این باعث گردیده تا افکار مردم و کشورهای منطقه نسبت به اینکه افغانستان یک کشور محاط با خشکی است را منتفی سازد. دهلیزهای ترانزیتی چابهار در مناسبات اقتصادی و سیاسی منطقه از اهمیت استراتژیک برخوردار بوده و میتواند در باز تعریف مناسبات سیاسی اقتصادی در حوزه آسیای جنوبی و مرکزی و تغییر جغرافیای تجارتی و ترانزیتی در منطقه نقش بازی کند. تشکر از توجهتان. نه. بدون شک بعد از ایجاد بندر چابهار اقدامات خوبی از جانب کشور هند و ایران در برطرف کردن چالش های فراراه این بندر مهم صورت گرفته، اما بعض مشکلات هنوز حل نشده باقی مانده است. عدم فعالگیری کشتی های بزرگ در بندر چابهار، پایین بودن سطح امکانات تخلیه و بارگیری در بندر چابهار، بلند بودن هزینه تون کیلومتر و تفاوت سوخت، عدم معیاری بودن جاده، عدم انتقال پول، پیشنهادات زائد را میخواهیم در خدمت شما ارائه کنم. آماده کردن بندر چابهار و پهلوگیری کشتی‌های بزرگ، معیار ساختن تخلیه و بارگیری در بندر چابهار، کاهش هزینه‌های وسایط افغانی از جانب کشور ایران، ترمیم جاده‌های مسیر چابهار، مستثنا قرار دادن معاملات پولی بندر چابهار از تحریم‌های بین المللی، در اخیر به نمایندگی از دولت و مردم افغانستان از همکاری‌های همه‌جانبه کشورهای هند و ایران در ایجاد بندر چابهار، سرمایه گذاری در این بندر ابراز تشکری نموده از آمادگی دولت خیش در استفاده خوب و اعظمی از این بندر اطمینان می‌دهم و از برگزار کنندگان این برنامه یک بار دیگر ابراز امتنان می‌نمایم. تشکر از توجهتان. Thank you so much.
I thank His Excellency Yes. Now I request His Excellency Mohammad Islami, Minister of Roads and Urban Development, Islamic Republic of Iran, to please deliver his address.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Do you have my voice? Are you hearing me?
Yes, okay.
Okay. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Honorable ministers, distinguished high-ranking officials, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation for organizing this important event as Chabahar Day, and also thanks to the distinguished government of India for forming this event. Today, I am glad to inform you that the goals of Chabahar Port has got suitable trend for facilitation, acceleration, and development of trade and transit among the countries, and as well as the connection to the Central Asia, Russia, and Europe. I hope that the realization of goals and objectives that has emphasized and endorsed the three countries shall be continuous and speedy in the future through the utilizing the air, road, rail, and maritime facility of Chabahar Port, as well as Chabahar industrial and free zone capabilities. The geographical location of the Islamic Republic of Iran in Persian Gulf and Oman Sea in the south, and its proximity to the Central Asia, Russia in the north, provide valuable opportunity to the neighboring countries to enjoy transport and transit connectivity, as well as existing great markets of the region. One of the important programs of the Islamic Republic of Iran is to increase the capacities of connecting routes from or to Chabahar. We can change Chabahar to a port, petrochemical, and other industries hub in the region through development of transport and logistic chain. India has participated in the first phase of a development of the Shahid Beheshti port of Chabahar, and we are now witnessing the preliminary supplying and entering the first type of equipments to the port. It deems necessary for the Indian operator to facilitate the process of supplying the remaining equipment. Both governments of Iran and India are extending all efforts to promote the potentials of Chabahar port. I hope we can enjoy more credit lines allocated by India to well-equipped Chabahar port, as well as completion of the infrastructure projects of transport networks and related projects in the region. The existing capacity of Shahid Beheshti port in the first phase of its development plan is about 8.5 million tons, which has been invested only with the Islamic Republic of Iran around $1 billion, which all has been allocated by the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And the plan is to expand for the next phase of the development and trying to meet the 30 million tons of capacity for the port. I believe that Chabahar port will change geo-economy of the region and will close the neighboring countries to each other through economic, social, and political ties. At the end, while once again thanking for helps given by the contracting countries, especially India, I hope the fruitful outcome of this event shall realize our common goals to smooth transit, boost economic and welfare and well-being of our nations. Thanks for your attention.
I thank His Excellency Muhammad Islami for his address. Now I request Ms. Christine Giliachan, Deputy Minister of State Infrastructure of Armenia, to deliver his address.
Thank you very much. Dear Mr. Secretary, dear colleagues, on behalf of the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Infrastructure of the Republic of Armenia, let me express our gratitude to the Government of India and the Ministry of Ports, Shipping, Waterways for their organizing the Maritime India Summit 2021 and to wish efficient and productive work. The relations between our nations have a rich history. Even today, Armenian-Indian relations are characterized by a high level of mutual understanding and trust. The Armenian government highly appreciates the contributions with India, Iran, and other countries on trade, economic, scientific, and technological, cultural, and educational cooperation, as well as valuable cooperation in transport sector, and Chabahar is a platform and opportunity to expand this cooperation. Armenia gives much importance to the country's integration with the regional transport networks. This is a declared aim to promote Armenia as a transit country with high-quality road and rail connections from north to south, good roadside facilities, and free economic zones to encourage value-adding activities within the country and in the region. Demand for such a transport and logistic connections come from international exporters and countries seeking alternative routes to Europe, Russia, India, and other countries. Our vision is to establish long-term prosperity for the development of efficient, cost-effective, and environmentally and socially sustainable transport infrastructure and services based on international standards. Armenia is a landlocked mountainous country, and the only outlets to the sea are by Georgia in the north and by Iran in the south. Due to its favorable geographical collocation, Armenia is appeared on the crossroads between west and east, north and south, and plays its active role in the development of international transport corridor of Traseka, north-south, and southeastern axis of the main trans-European transportation ways. Therefore, the government is currently focusing on improving regional connections for transport and trade facilitation, realization of important projects like North-South Road Corridor, TNT projects, and others, facilitating public-private sector investment. Meanwhile, there are many challenges that the Armenian transport system is facing now. There are natural obstacles, but other challenges are unique. Inadequate road conditions, rail and port capacity limitations, and border crossing delays severely limit the level of transport connectivity and consequently the size of the market that country can access. We are addressing them vigorously. We have to improve our trade and transport logistics in an environment of globalization and trade liberalization. Developments in logistics and transport have contributed to a strong integration of national economy in global value chain. I strongly believe that governments will remain fully committed to the principle of integrated and sustainable socio-economic development and promotion of new opportunities on transport corridors integration, and Chabahar is a great example. At the end, I once more congratulate all us of Maritime India Summit 2021 and wish successful and efficient work in this discussion. Thank you very much.
I thank Her Excellency Ms. Christine Galiachan for her address. Now I request His Excellency Mr. Ruslan Baymishev, Vice Minister of Industry and Infrastructure Development, Republic of Kazakhstan, to deliver his address, please.
Thank you very much, dear participants of the summit, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development of Republic of Kazakhstan, I would like to welcome all participants at the event dedicated at the port of Chabahar. Today, Kazakhstan is a transport and logistic hub of Central Asia. The main corridors of transit cargo flows in the directions connecting Kazakhstan with the Persian Gulf, Europe, and the Mediterranean Sea have been implemented. The international transport corridor north-south is being developed of the Persian Gulf countries with the participation of Kazakhstan in the sections, the seaport of Aktau, the Ural region of Russia, and Aktau-Oturau, as well as through the new railways, the line Uzeń-Bereket-Kurgan. We propose to intensify to work within the frameworks of the Coordination Committee of the North-South Corridor, which will improve the transportation progress and develop optimal routes for the transit cargo flows. The strategical goal of realizing the transit potential of Kazakhstan is the development of container transportation with organized trains. The main routes of the regular container services include destination to and from China with destination in Central Asia, and it is Europe, Turkey, with optimal delivery times from 7 to 16 days, depending on the road. In total, about 100 containers trains pass through the territory in 11 directions. At the same time, in order of increase and simplify transportation, the port infrastructure is actively developing today to direction of the Caspian Sea, the capacity of Kazakhstan logistic hub in 27 million tons per year. Also, the Aktau seaport and the Kuryk port multimodal complex are included in the network international transport corridors. Along with the development of infrastructure is an active modernization of ports, and now is ordered to reduce processing time for goods, introduce the new order of registration of shipping documents according to principle of one window, in which in the time reduced from 10, 12 hours to on average to 4 hours. The completion of the construction of the Chabahar Zahidan and Mashhad Zahidan railways will allow Kazakhstan to fully establish a transport corridor with India to the Iranian port of Chabahar. And in the future will be increase the trade turnover between our countries. Dear colleagues, participants of the Mortimer Summit, today the world community understands the importance of developing transport infrastructure on the basis of integration. I hope that this event will bring together the interests of our countries, as well as contribute to solving optimal problems for building mutually beneficial cooperation. In conclusion, I would like to wish the participants of the Chabahar Day fruitful work of the prospect of our countries. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, His Excellency Ruslan Banishev. I now request His Excellency Choryev Yashurbek Ergashevich, Deputy Minister of Transport, Republic of Uzbekistan, deliver his address, please.
Good day, dear distinguished guests and colleagues. Let me once again, on behalf of Ministry of Transport of Republic of Uzbekistan, sincerely welcome all participants of the event dedicated to discussion of seaport Chabahar. Understanding the double landlocked position of Uzbekistan in the world, and as I noted during my previous speech on the first day of Maritime Summit, it is vitally important for us to create best conditions for the transportation of goods to reach the Indian Ocean as soon as possible and open new corridors directing flow of goods to the sea transport. In this regard, we are working to determine the most optimal transport corridor to enter Chabahar port, as well as we see great prospects for this port in the near future, as a number of infrastructure projects, including railway between Zahidan and Chabahar in Iran, are completed. However, for the use of the port Chabahar in full measure, we fully support the establishment of ties between the private sector of our countries for the possible creation of any infrastructure or joint transport company. In addition, the bilateral cooperation agreement has been signed between Navoi Free Zone Economic Zone and Chabahar Economic Zone, which I am sure will help joint activities to carry out marketing research, attract investments, search for sales market for the residents of two combined economic zones. Also, for the implementation of transportation of goods between two countries' free zones, it's important to determine final cost of carriage in the very near future. In this regard, I would like to also ask for the Indian side to assist in receiving transportation cost of goods from Chabahar up to the border of Uzbekistan in total transit time required for the flow of goods. In conclusion of my speech, I'd like to say that it's significant for us to take consistent steps to carry out sea transportation using our own ships in the promising future. At that point, building up both bilateral and multilateral cooperation which is substantially important. Nevertheless, Republic of Uzbekistan supports local business community with subsidizing international conveyance of cargo. In this regard, establishing close contacts with competent representatives of Indian transport industry, aiming to create favorable conditions in transport sphere will reserve interest of nations. And I'd like to thank you for your attention and wish success for the future implementation of the project. Thank you.
I thank His Excellency Choryev Ergashevich for his address. The Russian Federation Minister, His Excellency Oleg Ryasnev, Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade, Russian Federation, was present on the inaugural day in the ministerial session today he has sent his pre-recorded address. I request that his pre-recorded video address be played, please.
Dear colleagues, I welcome the participants of the session dedicated to the port of Chabahar. This strategic port occupies a special place in the transport infrastructure of the region. The launch of a shipping line between the port of Mumbai in India and the ports of Chabahar and Bandar Abbas was the starting point for development of major transport corridors. International North-South transport corridor is very important for the development of production and trade in the region. I believe the joint design and construction of container ships and railroad ferry ships for the Trans-Caspian part of the road will be a promising area. Russian enterprises have experience, expertise, and competences, and we are open to dialogue and cooperation. We are also ready to propose their update designs for ships and vessels of port fleet, like river-going and sea-going tugboats and towboats, workboats and utility boats, leader collection vessels and other types of specialized ships, vessels and floating crafts and waterborne vehicles. In view of current global agenda, cooperation in the area of e-navigation has very bright prospects. This area includes control systems for vessel traffic management, shipboard automatic identification system, and system for creating navigational information databases and electronic maps. I'm convinced that cooperation in this area will open up many opportunities for realizing the scientific and technical potential of the industry. Dear colleagues, I thank you for your attention and invite you to expand and increase cooperation with Russian companies. Thank you very much. Dear colleagues,
Now we have a pre-recorded video address by His Excellency Dr. S. Shankar, Minister for External Affairs, Republic of India.
Excellencies, friends, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of External Affairs and the Government of India, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this event. I congratulate my colleague, Minister of State, Shri Mansukh Mandaviya-ji, for the successful organization of the second edition of the Maritime India Summit and the Chabahar Day. Excellencies, the search for efficient trade routes and better connectivity has been one of the powerful driving forces of history. It has determined the prospects of many nations, regions, and civilizations over time. Today, as the world goes through a fundamental rebalancing, correcting many of the distortions of the past, it is only natural that connectivity should be central to that exercise. In the modern age, the correlation between connectivity and economic growth has got even more pronounced. Growth in trade, commerce, industrial development, and technological advancement has gone hand in hand with ease of connecting. Maritime connectivity, in particular, has played a significant role in creating regional corridors for trade and economic linkages, as indeed for cultural and intellectual exchanges over the centuries. They too assume a new prominence in contemporary times for being more competitive, seamless, and greener. The access of landlocked economies to maritime movements has therefore been a particular focus of recent initiatives. The shift in the fulcrum of global economic growth towards Asia is creating unprecedented opportunities for connectivity in the region. There is a huge infrastructure deficit in the region, which needs to be met to fulfill the growing aspirations of our peoples. Excellent. The Government of India, recognizing the importance of regional connectivity, made a landmark decision to undertake an overseas port investment in Chabahar. While this project had been under discussion for some time, it was during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Iran in 2016 that a trilateral agreement to establish an international transport and transit corridor that was signed by India, Iran, and Afghanistan. The transport and transit corridor is intended to ensure the unhindered flow of commerce throughout the region and to create a safe, secure, and reliable route to trade, initially with Afghanistan and thereafter with Central Asia as a whole. The establishment and operations of India Ports Global Limited at Shahid Beheshti Port in Chabahar is the practical realization of this important initiative. I compliment Minister Mandavia and his team, as well as his Iranian partners, for the steady growth of these port operations. In a short while, they have established both its credibility and its relevance. Excellencies, today's event reflects India's strong commitment to work together with all regional stakeholders to enhance connectivity in our region and to provide unhindered access to the sea to landlocked Central Asian countries through Chabahar. Today's event also commemorates 5 years of the signing of the tripartite agreement on the establishment of a trilateral transport and transit corridor. This agreement is a fitting tribute to the rich civilizational, cultural, and trade links between India, Afghanistan, Iran, and Central Asia. Excellencies, the Chabahar port has not only emerged as a commercial transit hub for the region, but also facilitated the delivery of humanitarian assistance, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. The port is part of our shared commitment towards peace, stability, and prosperity of the people of Afghanistan. India has utilized the Chabahar port to ship 75,000 metric tons of wheat as humanitarian food assistance to Afghanistan in September 2020. India also assisted Iran to fight the worst ever locust invasion in the last 25 years by supplying 25 metric tons of malathion in June 2020, again through the Chabahar port. The second batch of 25 metric tons has recently reached the port. Excellencies, besides the Indian exports of food products, the port has also handled several shipments and transshipments from Russia, Brazil, Thailand, Germany, Ukraine, and the UAE. The International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, is an important trade corridor project wherein India is partnering with 12 countries to establish an economic corridor for the benefit of our peoples. We also welcome the interest of Uzbekistan and Afghanistan to join the multilateral corridor project. Establishing an eastern corridor through Afghanistan would maximize its potential. India has also proposed the inclusion of Chabahar in the INSTC route. I'm hopeful that during the INSTC Coordination Council meeting, member states would agree to the expansion of the INSTC route to include the Chabahar port and also agree on expanding the membership of this project. Excellencies, I look forward to the discussions during the 2 webinar sessions scheduled today on boosting businesses through regional connectivity and development of port infrastructure. These discussions would be useful to identify the way forward on the maritime transport cooperation between the regional partners and how landlocked countries can utilize the same to maximize their business opportunities. I wish you all success and hope that your discussions in each of these sessions would help to narrow down the specific parameters that help us to build the vision of enhanced regional connectivity. I thank you for your attention.
His Excellency Mr. Mansukh Mandavia, Minister of State for Port, Shipping and Waterways, Independent Charge and Chemical and Fertilizers, Republic of India, was the main force behind commemoration of this Chabahar Day today as a part of the Maritime India Summit 2021. Now I request him to deliver his keynote address, please.
Excellencies, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to welcome Honorable Minister from Republic of Armenia, Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, Islamic Republic of Iran, Republic of Kazakhstan, Republic of Federation and Republic of Russia, Republic of Uzbekistan, dignitaries and delegates on this exclusive edition of Chabahar Day, which is being organized on the sideline of the second edition of the Maritime India Summit. Connectivity has acquired existing and creative dimensions. We are only at the age of exploring the possibility in communication. The 21st century will not belong to land. It will be a century of the sea, skies, and space, in keeping with the high priority that we attach to enhancing regional connectivity between India and Central Asia and beyond. We have attempted today to bring together countries for a brainstorming on some of the primary issues in the agenda of maritime connectivity. Excellencies, as you are aware, Chabahar Port is a joint effort of the government of India, Iran, and Afghanistan to support landlocked Afghanistan by giving access to the open sea, optimizing logistic cost by bringing in efficiency and create a reliable and safe transport corridor. Further, the project also aims to develop a transit hub for cross connectivity between the India and Eurasia. Our Indian companies, India Ports Global Limited, through its wholly owned subsidiary Indian Ports Global Chabahar Free Zone, commenced operations at Bahasti Port of Chabahar on 25th December 2018, and since handled 123 vessels and total 13,752 TEUs and 18 lakhs tons of bulk and general cargo. Additionally, there has been an increase in average monthly call by vessels. Chabahar Port has emerged as the connecting point for the region of deliver humanitarian assistance during the COVID pandemics. India has used Chabahar Port to ship wheat to Afghanistan. India shipped full consignment of 75,000 MT of wheat, giving a humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan in September 2020. Till date, total 110,000 tons of wheat and 2,000 tons of pulses has been transshipped from India to Afghanistan. Chabahar Port is part of our shared commitment towards peace, stability, and prosperity of the peoples of Afghanistan. Chabahar has allowed India to export humanitarian supplies to Kabul and has also helped Afghanistan diversify its export opportunities. In 2020, Afghanistan's first transit shipment of dried fruits and the first shipment of Iran's aquatic products to Southeast were shipped through Chabahar Port. These shipments are significant milestone for Chabahar in facilitating trade between Central Asia, Central Asian countries, and Afghanistan with the countries of South and Southeast Asia and the Far East by establishing container transportation services also. Excellencies, International North-South Transport Corridor is also an important regional connectivity project. For the same, we have partnered with 12 countries, and we are strongly committed to the vision of activating this corridor at the earliest. India has already proposed the inclusion of Chabahar Port in the INSTC routes. We welcome the interest shown by Uzbekistan and Afghanistan to join INSTC. Excellencies, India await the holding of the next INSTC Coordination Council meeting, which could not be held last year because of the pandemic. I propose that we may consider holding the same in DVC format at the earliest so that the momentum of our cooperation and progress made so far is not stalled. I also urge all INSTC members states to support the inclusion of Chabahar port in the INSTC route and also positively consider the expansion of the INSTC membership to include our Afghanistan and Uzbekistan during the next Coordination Council meeting. Excellencies, in the end, I want to leave with a thought. At some stage, we also need to discuss and examine what specific steps we could undertake to support backend linkage, which will allow us to conceive of geographic connectivity project not merely as road or rail or sea infrastructure issues, but as projects that are bankable, of interest to industries and can help transform the geographic corridors of connectivity into corridors from economic cooperation, growth, and prosperity in the region. Thank you all for participating and sharing your view on these platforms. Thank you. Namaste.
I thank all the excellencies present today in this opening session of the Chabahar Day. I also thank participants of the Indian embassies in these countries, participating countries, and the embassies of the participating countries in India and other participants for being on this digital platform and commemorate the Chabahar Day. We have two important sessions throughout the day in which a lot of discussion will be done on the port infrastructure side and the business side, like the maritime shipping side, to make the Chabahar port more relevant for this international connectivity. I thank you all again for all of you for your active participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.